Now on ABC7 News at 7, we've got some rain moving through the Suncoast today. Much needed precipitation, but how about the weekend? Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan is going to have the very latest look ahead in that first alert forecast. Plus, another new lawsuit filed against a whole host of folks after that Piney Point leak back in April. All that and more on ABC7 News at 7 right now. And we start with a news alert, live look at the Surfside, Florida carnage after a collapsed condo building collapsed earlier this morning. At this point, over 100 people still missing. We're going to have more on this story coming up just a little bit later. But first, we're wanting to take a look at that first alert weather because everything around here depends upon weather. And we finally had some good rain to move in through, Bob.
As expected, big storms made their way along the sea breeze front and closer to the coast. Up to 2.5 inches of rain fell in near Palmetto and Bradenton, causing some minor flooding issues for a short period of time. All that heavy rain has since moved on, but it's up into Hillsborough and Pinellas County, and it looks like we'll see a return of it tomorrow afternoon. Right now, off in the distance there from Anna Maria, live shot showing cloudy conditions, not much of a sunset tonight. 8:29, that's when it happens. Scattered storms for Friday. They're back in a typical summer weekend ahead with those afternoon and evening variety of storms. Well, the cold rain now is occurring. We're not looking at anything severe, too rough, and the showers are starting to moderate a bit. But boy, big storm still firing up into Tampa Bay near St. Petersburg, heading off toward the beaches there. That is an intense storm. Still causes some problems along I-275 into Pinellas County. But the rainfall you see here is lasting. Still raining, though, in Bradenton. Tough going for the big Thursday Thirst game there at Lecom Park. They've got a game tonight, but we're checking out to see what's happening right now. We'll zoom in on that rainfall and see what's happening. The heaviest by far along I-275 and 75. Not much, but Ellington, it's raining. This is heading your way. Few lightning strikes, these blue bolts indicating power or positive strikes, which have a little bit more amperage to them. And you can see the light rain still continuing in downtown Bradenton near Palmetto, and Bayshore Gardens getting some rainfall. Not the best of sunsets tonight. Wanted to show you one area, some very heavy rainfall today where it did cause some problems. Right there in Palmetto, Rabonia, up near I-275, Bayshore Gardens. We're talking up to 1.5 to 2 inches of rainfall, causing some problems there. And locally, most of that rain fell into North Sarasota and throughout parts of Manatee County. So the rain comes to an end here shortly, and then we'll see fair skies overnight, and we do it all again on Friday. More on that, and a tropical system has a pretty good chance developing over the next several days. Details in just a few minutes. Bill?
All right, Bob. And just in from the Marauders, game tonight canceled, doubleheader tomorrow. Hey, if you're just getting home and settling in after a long day, we've got an update on what has been a very long day for folks in South Florida. A developing story out of Surfside where a building collapsed early this morning. Now crews, as you can see, searching the basement parking garage in a desperate attempt to find victims. That 12-story residential building located in Surfside, just a few miles north of Miami Beach, right there on the Atlantic coast. We do know that there are dozens of people now unaccounted for at this time, and the death toll has now risen to 3 individuals. Joining us now live from the newsroom with the latest is our Kevin Walsh. And Kevin, you've been keeping an eye on this, an ear on this all afternoon. What do we know so far?
We know more about the immediacy of it, who was inside the rubble, might still be there, and what's going to come next. Let's start with the 911 dispatch call.
I need PD on the beach side. I have people coming in off the back side. I need them to get everybody out of here. I just need you guys to expedite the resources that I need over here. Can you bring all the cribbing that you can find? Bring it over here to the north side of the building.
So that gives you an idea of what the response was going to be. Some compared it to 9/11, just a massive amount of emergency personnel showing up there. A lot of folks woke up to the news stunned about what happened during the early morning hours. For those who live nearby, it was deeply personal. They know people who live there or were visiting and might still be trapped.
I found out that my nephew was here with a wife and 3 small children, 2, 6, and 9.
Were they here visiting?
Yes, vacation. So they had an apartment there.
Are they in the affected area?
Yes, yes. 10-10, looking at the ocean. You never lose hope. I'm just asking God because they're in the affected area. It's unbelievable. Everything comes to your mind except positive things. You just believe in God and let God guide you.
Earlier today, President Biden got word about what happened, and when asked about the collapse, he said this.
Mr. President, have you called Governor DeSantis in Florida? Have you spoken to the governor?
No, I haven't yet. I'm waiting for a call from him if he needs the help. We told him it's available. My team has gotten in touch. I've not personally spoken to him. I've been talking to you.
And we are now learning that Governor Ron DeSantis has signed an executive order declaring a state of emergency for Miami-Dade County because of what happened. This will help draw down federal money, which will be added to what the state will provide.
We still have hope to be able to identify additional survivors, and the state of Florida, we're offering any assistance that we can.
And making rescues has proved to be especially tricky, even fiery in some instances. Firefighters sifting around through the rubble sparked a fire which lasted for about 20 minutes. That just made a bad situation even worse. We will be sure to keep you updated on the latest on the air and also online. Bill.
All right. Thank you very much. That is Kevin Walsh reporting at our breaking news desk. And if anything does come up further on this, we will definitely let you know about it. Longtime Suncoast residents, of course, will remember the old Dolphin Tower in Sarasota that once had to be evacuated for fear that it too could collapse. There was a growing crack in a concrete support area that was discovered back in 2010. ABC7's Rick Adams joining us now live from near that tower, which has been reopened after getting shored up. But this is something very similar for folks around here. Good evening, Rick.
Bill, good evening. It did take more than 5 years before residents were able to move back here. This building collapse does hit a little too close to home for many Sarasota residents. It could have happened at Dolphin Tower back in 2010. There are dozens of high-rise condos here in Sarasota. One resident who lives in the One Watergate condo says this doesn't change how he feels about living in a high-rise.
When we painted the building 10 years ago, it was totally inspected, the foundation totally inspected, and every 5 years totally inspected. For instance, right now they're replacing an elevator and repairing the second elevator. So again, the board of directors, all of the people that work in a building are fabulous, and it gives you a feeling of confidence.
And we did reach out to Dolphin Tower, and we did leave a message. We are still waiting to hear back from them for a comment. We're going to have more on the story coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. Reporting live from the Sarasota Bayfront, I'm Rick Adams, ABC7, your local station.
And several conservation groups filing a lawsuit today against groups that they believe share the blame in that Piney Point discharge and everything that's followed after it. Of course, that leak, millions of gallons of contaminated water, happened back in April. This lawsuit, though, now naming several agencies, including the State Department of Environmental Protection. Our Daniela Hurtado has been following this case since the leak first started and has the latest for us.
A 78-page complaint filed in federal court on Thursday morning talking about action and transparency needed in the Piney Point situation. Several people and organizations being sued, including the governor, the Department of Environmental Protection, HRK Holdings, and Port Authority in Manatee County. Conservation group leaders like the ones at Suncoast Waterkeepers tell us it's time to see action and to get a seat at the table to talk about how exactly they're going to shut down permanently Piney Point and how they're going to do it in a safe way, not only for the environment, but for the people in our community. We've, of course, reached out to all four defendants in this federal lawsuit. Most of them have not gotten back to us except for the Manatee County Port Authority, and they tell us they don't comment on active litigation. In the newsroom, Daniela Hurtado, ABC7, your local station.
The First Lady making a special visit to our area today. Dr. Jill Biden stopping by Tampa this afternoon to share a powerful message. As ABC7's Summer Smith tells us, she's telling everyone to go get your shots.
Dr. Jill Biden is hoping this visit to the ice here at Amalie Arena encourages more people to get their vaccines. Community members were invited to today's vaccine event, and as they received their vaccinations, Dr. Biden watched and cheered them on. She made this stop as part of the administration's nationwide effort to try and get more people vaccinated. Dr. Biden says it's not only important, To get the vaccinations, it's free and easy.
And if you need a ride, Uber and Lyft are offering free rides. And no matter where you live here in the state of Florida, there is a vaccination site close by.
Attendees to today's event not only received their vaccinations, but they also got the chance to win tickets to tomorrow night's Lightning game here at Amalie Arena. Reporting in Tampa, Summer Smith, ABC7, your local station.
Ooh, tickets to Game 7, that's huge. So too is this. Coming up, we're going to be talking with the director of the Children's Theater at Florida Studio Theater about their production for families this summer, keeping the Suncoast artsy. But first, we continue to monitor the latest developments out of Surfside, giving you a look now at what that 12-story building that collapsed earlier this morning looks like now. There's at least 3 people confirmed dead. The search and rescue efforts are continuing. We'll be right back with more.